Thani Human Rights presents The Treacherous Revenge, an homage to a great man, the story of Sheikh Saoud bin Mohammed Thani. The Treacherous Revenge is an illustrative true story of the unfortunate fate that was imposed on Sheikh Saoud bin Mohammed bin Ali bin ABDALLAH bin QASSIM Thani. It illustrates the treacherous acts that were carried out against him during his lifetime, acts that resulted in his demise. Sheikh Saoud was an exceptional individual, a person of special charismatic values. He had passion and enthusiasm. He was loved by all that crossed his path during his lifetime. A person of unique integrity and with passion for art in its many kinds and forms. Loved all of God's creatures and specifically the Amazonian parrots. His journey in life. His journey in the art world started with a personal passion for Islamic arts. He later developed interest in photography, Art Deco furniture, specimens of natural history, fossils and minerals, books, penny farthing bicycles, ancient coins and beads, vintage cars, cameras and photographic equipment, carpets, textiles, jewelry, Egyptian antiquities, and all arts in its many kinds and forms. A truly passionate collector who was fascinated with history. The museums. During his passionate life, he was entrusted to create the first ever museum of Qatar, turning Qatar into a new Middle Eastern center for the arts, creating a hub of universal culture starting from scratch in an area that had never known such a thing. A mission to assemble masterpieces under a single roof in Doha. The pinnacle of art. Due to his success in the art world, he was renowned all over as an exceptional collector, loved not only by the people around him, but also by many of the people he met throughout the course of his journey. Even with all the love around, he was unfortunately disliked by some individuals who envied him for his possessions. Evil lurked in every corner. His fate was sealed from the beginning of his life. He was respected by the Emir of State, not only because they were cousins, but also because the Emir considered him as a close friend and could entrust him with many tasks. One day, the Emir called upon Sheikh Saoud to ask him to do a sensitive task that entails a high security matter concerning the internal family affairs. A task that the Emir didn't want anyone to carry out but Sheikh Saoud, as he trusted him to an indefinite level. If only Sheikh Saoud would have known that by accepting this task, his fate was sealed. The first storm. Sheikh Saoud carried out the task as entrusted to him by the Emir and embarked on the mission. After a strenuous voyage, he returned to him with the conclusive results. The Emir was very grateful, and although the results of his entrusted tasks were conclusive, it wasn't to the likings of some individuals in the entourage of the Emir. This time, they didn't stop at envy. They chose to extend to treachery. The Treacherous Revenge. His life changed in the blink of an eye, like a storm that came out of nowhere, filled with hatred and treachery. Closest individuals of the Emir exploited their power to destroy Sheikh Saoud. A combustible effects of envy, hatred, and revenge stirred into an unstoppable act of destruction. The Treacherous Revenge was orchestrated and carried out without pity or shame, without fearing that the Almighty God is watching everyone, and that every pain inflicted will strike back the inflictor. They used all possible means: manipulation through the public prosecution office to fabricate claims, false documents, impose travel bans, arrest warrants, and everything else you could imagine, all without any shred of proof. Sheer allegations that have been created solely by this treacherous revenge that lasted for almost 10 years of his lifetime. The hands of the Attorney General of Qatar and the individuals that he conspired with has been smeared by the ink that was used to sign and fabricate these baseless claims. The last page of his life. He spent the last 10 years of his life in heartache and despair, seeing how his life had turned, how his fate was sealed since that dark night when he accepted the entrusted task by the Emir. He didn't regret it, as he believed that these resenting individuals would have found other excuses or means to destroy him. He felt he did the right thing, and they are to be burdened to the end of their lives with what they have done in their lifetime. Whereas he was assured to meet his Creator with pure heart and confidence that he didn't mean harm to anyone. He felt he did the right thing. During the storm of hatred acts carried out by them, he was assured within his heart that the Emir wasn't aware of their acts, and that he still had it within him, the respect and trust that he had bestowed on him from the beginning. Then came the opening night of the first museum, where the Emir wrote a note to be witnessed by all, marking in history the contribution of Sheikh Saoud bin Mohammed Al-Thani. Sheikh Saoud bin Mohammed bin Ali bin ABDALLAH bin QASSIM Al-Thani passed away in 2014 due to a severe heart attack at the young age of 48 years old. A healthy and passionate individual, exhausted by the envy and hatred of others, they succeeded in straining his heart, but they do not know that they cannot change the course of history, and what has been written in the past will be revealed in the future. Hatred beyond the grave. In 2020, a book was printed allegedly to honor Sheikh Saoud, named A Falcon's Eye, a book that supposedly pays tribute to Sheikh Saoud bin Mohammed Al-Thani almost 6 years after his death. Unfortunately, this book didn't pay tribute, but rather it tried to imprint the treacherous acts that were carried out against him to validate it in history. Acts that weren't able to be proved during his lifetime are trying to prove it after his passing. Envy is limitless and knows no boundaries. If you seek the truth, then you should refer to another book written by a stranger to Qatar, where you can verify the truth on your own, and you shall discover within the book's sentences the undeniable truth of what actually happened to Sheikh Saoud, and you shall obtain the answers to all your questions. Who, when, what, where, and why all this happened, and what is yet to happen. Qatar, les secrets du coffre-fort.